With me today I have Ascelia Pharma, the CEO Magnus Corfitsen, and the CSO Andreas Norlin. You've been here before, but I'm glad to see you again. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you very much.
So Andreas, last week you finally filed for the NDA. Please update us on Orviglance and the data.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much for having us here. And as you said, last week we submitted the NDA for Orviglance to the US Food and Drug Administration, FDA. And Orviglance is a product that addresses a very specific unmet medical need in the field of MR imaging, so specifically for liver MRI in patients with poor kidney function.
Mm-hmm.
And we have very strong data that we have built the NDA package on, showing that with Orviglance you have a significantly improved visualization of the focal liver lesions compared to unenhanced MRI. And we're of course very happy for having that data, because that is the foundation of the whole file here. Together with a lot of other important data, of course it's not just the clinical data. But to just repeat it again, last week we submitted the NDA file.
And it's been a huge amount of work
Yes.
for a small company like Ascelia.
Yeah.
So what is going to happen now? Do you have some interaction with FDA, or are you just waiting for the answer?
Well, maybe you just wish that you just waited for the answer, but no. So the first now is a check-in period, you can say that,
yes.
When the FDA just checks that do they have all the documents, all the data they need to continue the work with. And then there's a second step, which is also a little bit deeper review of the data, where they ensure that they actually have what they need to do the data review. And on day 74, which is a critical date, the FDA at the latest will inform us if they are going to continue with the review.
Okay.
So the actual review takes place after that, when they review all the data, and it's a 10-month process in total. So after those 10 months, we expect to have their final decision. But basically from now, but especially around day 74 and onwards, we may get some questions, because the FDA will always ask questions and need to clarify things, and sometimes they even ask for new supplementary analysis and so on, because they have some idea about something that they would like to know better or understand better.
Of course. So really an interaction.
It's an interaction, yes.
Would you inform the market, or when will you inform the investors? Will you, of course, if you don't proceed after 74 days, you probably need to inform the market. Yeah. But otherwise, how will you update the investors about the review process?
The day 74 is an important date.
Yes, good.
So that is something we feel we need to inform about. Yeah.
And then and hopefully you will survive the 74 days, and then within 10 months we will get an answer. You have some possibilities for faster approval process. When will you? Is that also after 74 days?
No, we have not applied for a priority review. It's a 6-month process instead of the 10-month process. But it's also important for us to make sure that we have the resources and are available to answer the questions from the FDA. So our estimate, or our decision was that we wanted to not jeopardize anything by trying to stress things. So
that's fair. Yeah. So you mentioned there's some other variables in terms of applying for faster approval. Could you elaborate a little on that? Is that something to do with a partner, or is it something to how fast you can be in the market if you apply for faster?
I guess it depends on the company and the strategy and obviously a lot of factors. But in our case, this was the optimal option path forward. Yeah.
But to say it in slightly different words, expanding on what Andreas is saying, is that the most important value driver is to get the drug approved with a good label.
Yes.
And we think with the package that we have put together and submitted to the FDA, we have a very good submission with what we believe is a very good likelihood of getting there. If we went to sort of squeeze the timeline, as Andreas said. That puts more burden on us, and that is also higher risk.
Good.
So I think in the evaluation we had, we said the most important thing is to get it approved with the right label, and we think we are in a really good place to do that. Getting there a little bit earlier with a higher risk profile, we think was not in the best interest. So that's why we said we want to do it, you could say, on the regular process.
Interesting. Thanks a lot. So besides the 74 days, what else can go wrong? But of course it's a straight line, but I know, humans negotiate with humans. If they ask for further material, could that delay the approval time, or how does these mechanisms work, Andreas?
Yeah, well, as I said before, they will ask questions.
Yes.
It's mostly clarifying questions, because of course we think we have a very good, clear package, but there might be something they don't understand, or they think there is something missing, or we have placed the data somewhere else in the file than where they are looking. So even though it should be able to find everything, it might be questions around that. How do we find the data? What do you actually mean with this, and so on. So there will be an ongoing dialogue and discussion about that. Of course, they may conclude differently than we. I mean, they will not. I think it's very unlikely they will see the data differently. But of course, the interpretation of the data and is it enough or not. I don't know if I can give any good example, but there is always a risk that they are of a different opinion. But that is not specific for Orviglance. That is a generic case.
Of course.
So again, we have very strong clinical data. We have a very strong package overall, very clear cut. I would say there are very few question marks in there. We are looking forward to answer any questions from the FDA.
And just to add to that, because basically what the FDA are doing right now is that they're looking at this application. They're looking at, based on the data, based on the application, will Orviglance provide added benefit with a good safety risk profile for patients? That is the key question they will answer. And we think, based on the extensive data we have from the various clinical trials, both in terms of efficacy and safety, in our manufacturing data, in everything that we have, that it's a very favorable outcome. That's what we put in the package, and that's why Andreas said, we're looking forward to the review process. But obviously, it's not our decision to approve; it's the FDA, and that's how it should be. But I think we have had some good interactions with the FDA throughout the development. We've listened to their feedback. That has been incorporated, and as Andreas said, we're looking forward to the review.
Good, thanks a lot. So let's jump to the next question about partnering, and if you could just very briefly, Magnus, touch upon, entering a partnership sounds very easy, but there's a lot of variables you have to consider. So could you just elaborate a little on your thoughts about it, Magnus?
Yeah, absolutely. So our strategy is to find commercialization partners for Orviglance. We are a small company. We don't have a commercial infrastructure to bring drugs to patients, and we think from a cost and capital efficiency perspective, the best way is to have a partner to do that. And there are different types of partners, and we are talking to all different kinds of partners. So typically they would be, you would say, pharmaceutical companies that are active in towards hospitals. It could be companies that are already engaged in the radiology field, selling contrast agents or similar products to the radiology department. But it could also be, as we've said several times, it could also be especially pharma companies that have strong hospital-focused sales forces and good understanding of the different, you would say, other capabilities like market access and pricing and distribution. So I think we have a fairly wide opportunity net in terms of which partners to go for, and we have set up a process, and that has resulted in number of conversations and negotiations, and that is ongoing, right? And that's where we are. So we're happy with the dialogues that we're having.
Now we focused on NDA. For FDA, we've focused on partnering, and you talked about US partnering a lot of times. What about EU? Are you going for an approval here? And also, of course, in terms of partnering, are you looking for global partner? Are you looking for local partner? Should we start with you first?
We are focusing on the US.
Yes.
So the FDA and the NDA submission to the FDA is our focus now.
Yes.
And EU and other parts of the world, I think that is tightly connected to the discussions with the partners and partnering strategy and plans.
Good.
Yeah. And again, that whole set of priority comes from the risk analysis and the fact that if we succeed with something, then we're going to be completely different place from where we are today. And the US is almost half of the global commercial opportunity for Orviglance.
Yes.
And therefore, by prioritizing one regulatory process, we can tap into the biggest, single market.
Yeah.
And that's super important. Instead of trying to sort of spread our activities too broad. We, in terms of partnership, we are having conversations in relation to global partnerships. We're also having conversations in specific geographies, and that would mean that would be sort of most likely if we were doing a let's say US partnership, then obviously we still have the opportunity to do another partnership in Europe or Asia or any other place on the planet. So it really depends. What is important for us is that we find a partner and enter a partnership with someone that are equally excited about Orviglance, where it has a meaningful impact on their business, both from a strategic and financial perspective, because we want to make sure that once we have the partnership, that our partner really want to push it hard.
For sure. Thanks a lot. Then you also have another product in the pipeline. It's been on hold because of other priorities and focus on Orviglance. Could you just briefly update us on Oncoral and when should we as investors expect news from that pipeline?
Yeah, you will get some here. Oncoral, so that is our other product in our portfolio, and that is a slightly different product. It's a tablet formulation of irinotecan, which is a well-known, well-established chemotherapy that is used IV intravenously today. And it has been sitting there waiting for us when we are focusing on Orviglance, and now we are we are looking into that again, and it's very important we get everything right, since oncology is a very big field, a lot of things going on all the time, so we need to make sure that we have positioned our right. So we're looking into the strategy and how to best move it forward. But the intention is still to go forward towards a phase 2 study, and it's in gastric cancer we are aiming for, or have been aiming for. We will not say anything about the timing exactly, but of course this is an increased priority, you could say here, from now on.
Thanks a lot. So thanks a lot for being here and taking your time, giving us an update on the NDA, your partnership thoughts, and also Oncoral. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Great to be here.